Alrighty. Hello everyone and welcome to my reaction to Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters episode 7. I go down with the ship. I am so excited for this episode because last we see Percy picks up Annabeth's hat. Luke has gone away with Annabeth and the fleece. I don't remember if the fleece was ever put on Kronos, but it is shown like that in the preview, so we don't know how fast-tracked his healing has gotten. I am guessing Percy is going to be using Annabeth's cap to essentially either attack Luke or do recon. Both are possible. I would love to see him actually use the cap. That would be really cool. I don't know if it would potentially offend Athena, wherein a Poseidon's son is using Athena's gift to her kid to rescue said kid. I don't know what will happen. I don't really think they will go deep into that. They might explore that somewhere in the future, but it is something that can be a future conversation point. Annabeth gets a vision, and so I am guessing Luke is going to take the fleece to Camp Half-Blood to revive Thalia. Once again, I don't know what's going to happen in there. I am guessing there might be a really solid fight between Camp Half-Blood and the army of demigods that Luke has. You know what I am really curious about is the party ponies conversation. The whole theory of the book is that Chiron is essentially fired because he's framed for killing Thalia's tree or not being able to protect her. Right? Then, during this part of the arc of the book, Percy uses the sea mist to iris message the camp, and Luke confesses without realizing that he's essentially confessing in front of the camp that he was the one who stabbed Thalia's tree, which then gets Chiron reinstated. They are also somewhere near Miami where Chiron and the party ponies are, so Chiron does arrive on the ship and there's a huge fight. The thing is, I don't know what's going to happen because in the show, Chiron was already fired long before Thalia's tree was attacked and the camp was in danger. Even if Luke confesses, there's nothing much to it because the whole reason Chiron was fired was because he was the son of Kronos. So I don't think that Chiron is going to have the attack happen on the ship. What I do think is going to happen is Percy, Annabeth, and Tyson and Grover are going to give the fleece to Clarice, who's going to fly back home with the fleece to revive Thalia's tree. They are also going to have the main fight happen on camp as opposed to on the water or on the shore, and potentially Thalia is going to come back into life. She's either going to fight them right away or she's going to join Luke's team. My theory that Percy and Thalia are going to have a huge fight, probably because Luke is going to get the fleece back into camp, revive Thalia's tree, get Thalia back into action. Luke potentially gets her to his side before Percy attacks. That's still valid, and that is getting valid every single day. So I really don't know what's going to happen. Let's actually sit down and watch. Now, before we do, I wanted to show you today's blue food of the day. First of all, I wanted to feature this bowl because it looks almost like the kintsugi that's on Kronos' sarcophagus. So I feel like it was vibing. The blue food of the day is, I have cereal with blueberry jam, and so when I mix it all up, it turns the milk blue and we have blue cereal. A tad bit soggy, but blue cereal nonetheless. That's our blue food of the day. I felt like it all kind of came together, pretty much like how Kronos' body is going to come together underneath the fleece. So that's the vibe. Let's get started with Percy Jackson and the Olympians and see how many of my theories come into life. Percy is going to attack Luke wearing Annabeth's cap. I'm guessing Luke is going to take the fleece away from Kronos' sarcophagus to revive Thalia, and there's going to be a huge fight. Chiron and his party ponies are going to attack Luke's army, but it is going to happen on camp. Thalia is going to get revived really quickly, and Luke might get her on his side long before Annabeth has a chance or opportunity to get her to her side. Thalia is potentially going to attack Tyson, which pisses off Percy because they're really diving deep into the Percy's fatal flaw being always putting the friends first. So there is a real solid possibility of that happening. Without further ado, let's actually see what's gonna happen. Let's go.
Just as she protected the one she loved.
The rage Luke must be feeling right now, which is so valid, but the rage he must be feeling right now, like, I didn't wanna come here in the first place. We are here. Thalia ended up dying because of it. Oh.
What are you talking about? What's that mean?
Zeus, in his mercy, has honored her bravery by giving her a new form of life.
What? Where's her body?
Hey, kid. Let's get out of here.
The way Allison's mere presence pisses me off. I don't even know why. Because she's a pretty good soldier for Kronos' army, right? And once again, I get it. I get the whole conversation. I'm not even pissed off with Luke for bringing Kronos back into life. I get his point of view. But for some reason, Allison just actively pisses me off. It's just her presence. We didn't even see her whole face or her body. She just snatched the fleece away from Annabeth's body. But at the same time, I hate her so much. God. I don't even know why, okay? She's just a kid, but I don't know. Does she pisses you off as well?
Wow, Percy Jackson. Big fan. We should go somewhere and talk.
Lose the charm speak after daddy boy or lose your teeth.
Not them introducing Charm Speak so early. I love that. I didn't even know that was a power until we got to Heroes of Olympus, right? And I kind of thought that he was Hermes' kid and not Aphrodite's. What's your problem, kid? I mean, same problem that everyone has, but also at the same time, Lamo.
I can't contact camp. Iris didn't accept my offering. I think the whole network is down.
That was clever because I was genuinely wondering how they're going to go about with the whole Iris message thingy. But then the whole system being down sounds kind of iffy, right? Like it's a god, not the Wi-Fi system. So there's definitely something happening over there. Crazy stuff.
Camp has no idea what's coming. Hey, give it back!
Clarice really is going to start holding on to things so tightly after this point in time. Because this is the second time Percy has grabbed something that she was already holding on to. Just yoinked it away from her. Oh my god. I'm guessing the few weeks he spent at camp in the Hermes' cabin definitely taught him something.
Rescue mission is a risk and I'm done risking this quest or camp for anyone else. We're in this position because of you. We had the fleece and we lost it because of you.
100% yes, but baby girl, don't forget about the fact that you literally were so close to crossing between Scylla and Charybdis, and you chose to swerve the ship to Charybdis just for the sake of rescuing people who eventually did end up dying. You didn't even know if you yourself would survive. So like, the logic and the emotions behind that is kind of iffy, but I get it. But also at the same time, kind of iffy. But also at the same time, I kind of get it because Clarice is like, I learned from my mistakes and I'm not going to make that mistake again.
You know, maybe your prophecy was right.
What?
Fail without friends. To fly home alone. Know why you're gonna fail? Because you push everyone away.
Boy is coming in too hot. It's like, oh my god, really literally seeing his fatal flaw in action, and I'm loving it because we are seeing the consequences of that knowledge. Oh, I love it. I genuinely think, like, you know, in the book it's not explored that much. Even when we do learn about his fatal flaw, which I don't even think is in this book series, I think it's in Heroes of Olympus, but I don't really remember. But even at that point, it's not explored in this much depth. We are seeing active consequences of that knowledge, and so yummy. Let's go.
How would you do this?
There's an employee elevator. Starboard side of the Lido deck. This will take you to the service corridor.
Got it!
First.
Deserved is all I'm saying, okay? Deserved. He was being too rude and mean. Deserved. Go off, Clarice. Also, she's actively learning from Annabeth as well. Like, when Annabeth kills off her 3 main people from the crew so that they could quote-unquote work together, Clarice was like, I'm learning that. I'm getting all the information I need, and then I'm just gonna be like, okay, yeah, fine, let's do this my ways. I love it. The micro expressions of Luke, that he's happy, but he's also kind of like, am I doing the right thing? But also he's kind of happy. Such brilliant acting. I love it. Let's go.
Who's in there?
Shh. Okay, just keep it down. Look, buddy, I understand, but I'm in a bit of a hurry. Okay, Blackjack, not Buddy. My bad. Okay, sorry, gotta go. Good luck.
I like that though. I like the fact that we are not actively able to hear what Percy is hearing. Like, Percy is communicating with Blackjack, but we are not able to hear it. Oh, that's clever. I like it. I like it. Layers upon layers, man. Good direction. I thought it would be kind of like a mind read thingy, but it wouldn't have made sense to other people. This definitely makes us go, oh, okay, Percy's communicating with horses. Percy can communicate with horses. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Wise girl. You okay? You're my priority and the fleece was hers.
It was mine first, remember? All thanks to Percy. He defied the will of the gods by handing it over. It's got heart. I'm not gonna lie.
He wasn't thinking about the gods.
He was thinking about saving a friend.
And he ended up saving the world.
Luke, you have to stop this.
Man, Luke is sucked so deep into the Kronos mind games of it all, but also the prophecy. He literally thought that, oh, Percy doing this shows us that we can win this war with Percy on our side. Or that he has defied the gods and the prophecy's already taken whatever courses of action it needed to take. Oh my god. But also he cares for Annabeth and oh, this is so crazy. I love it.
Yes, you can. You just have to leave now.
Go check it out.
Luke hasn't seen Annabeth's cut ropes yet. Also, if Percy is smart about it, he would have just opened the door and let it shut, but stayed inside. Because I would have done that. I mean, and if I'm guessing Percy being smart, he would have done that. Because he has gotten rid of the 2 extra people. And so it's just between him and Luke if they do end up fighting. And Annabeth if she joins in. Which she is not going to is what Percy is thinking. Because he's like, oh, Annabeth and Luke are talking. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know what this means. And, you know, oh, juicy stuff, man. I mean, Percy, if he's clever, he wouldn't have left the room.
Private Percy.
No. Bad idea.
Grover immediately flashbacking to the time when Percy rescued him and Annabeth from the Lotus Casino. And even though he was zonked out and still getting out of the Lotus Casino magic and all of that jazz, he still knew that however Percy was driving was very bad. Drama flashbacks, man.
Maybe we should call in someone stronger, more wise, and someone who can help.
Tyson?
I don't know why I thought that they would connect them dots and call Chiron, but they were like, you know what? We need to call someone wiser. Calls Percy's mom, which is clever as hell, and I absolutely love it because, oh my god, the fact that even in the future, like future and side story stuff, so skip like 10 seconds ahead if you don't want any spoilers, but Nico, when he has to go back to Tartarus along with Will, they go to Sally's house to talk to Percy and Annabeth, which is kind of crazy, like Sally being the person who all the demigods go to. There's this running joke in the fandom that I've seen where if you ever need help from someone who's a mortal, call Sally's number. It's advertised on the help desk at Camp Half-Blood as well. Like, that's the vibes that I got from this and I absolutely love it. Oh my god. Further cements the proof that in the next book when they're going to rescue Nico and Bianca from the boarding school, they're going to do that because Percy was like, oh, I have to go here. How do I go there? And Sally's like, do you want me to drive you? Because I can. So she ends up driving them. Oh, I love that. That's so cute. She's going to be like, this is perfect. Call Chiron though. I'm guessing he is going to be able to help you much more easier than I potentially can. I mean, I can drive there. Do you want me to drive there? And Percy is going to be like, I asked you guys to do one job and you've gotten my mom into danger right now. What is wrong with you all? Poor guy is going to have a breakdown by the end of this episode.
Did you get my letter?
Yes,
Camp's great. Could you get us a ride?
A ride.
To camp.
What Tyson meant to say is that
Grover, what are you doing there?
I've been mother to a demigod for 13 years and to a cyclops for 1. Just tell me what's really going on.
Absolutely loved that. The cashier is definitely going through all the products and going, is there drugs in here somewhere? What does she mean? What is happening here? Oh my god. That's going to be the crazy story she talks about later on Reddit. Like, you guys, what do you think's happening here? Is the Greek world real? What is happening? Or was this lady just crazy? What do you think? Drop it down in the comments. She switches on her phone and goes, hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about a crazy lady who came into the store and talked about how she's been a mother to a demigod for 13 years and a cyclops for 1. Do you think she's cuckoo or not? Do you think I should have asked her for more information or not? Do you think I should have got her on camera or not? What do you all think? Like, vlogging 101. I would have definitely done that. Gotten sued by the store and potentially would have lost my job, but at the same time it would have been fun.
Nothing can change my mind.
I think the fleece can bring Dahlia back to us.
Even if it wasn't a vision that Annabeth got, I definitely would have used it as a manipulation point to get the fleece back to camp. You know what I mean? Like, yes, ooh, manipulation bad, but also at the same time, hey, what's more important? Rescuing Camp or feeling bad about manipulation? The greater good of it all. The bigger picture that we are looking at right now makes me feel like manipulation good for 5 minutes. And if Luke is smart and doesn't get caught up in the manipulation, he is going to think that this is a tactic Annabeth is using and not the fact that it was an actual vision. So,
Anyone here up for killing a traitor?
You mean Annabeth? But Luke said...
My orders come from Kronos, directly.
So Kronos was like, Annabeth, she is really important when it comes to the power she holds over Luke. Which is true. Especially when we go deeper into the next few series, we see how powerful and important Annabeth is. Not just as an emotional point of view, but also as like a demigod, but also as an emotional point of view. So he was like, she can actively change Luke's mind, and she's doing that. And someone need you to get rid of her. Ooh, that's crazy. Also, if I was Clarice right now, I would take the weapon I need and then grab it all and throw it into the water. Like, don't leave weapons in the armory for them to fight back. It would be so cool and clever if she did that. Please do that. I know it's taking you a while to get to the point where you wanted to be at, but it is a clever strategy to employ right now to ensure that you don't get into further trouble down the road. Ooh.
That my survival is the key to your return. The great prophecy, right?
So Percy being here is what triggered Luke to come back into the main room. What if, hear me out, Percy gathers the fleece, opens the sarcophagus and stabby whatever parts of Kronos is here. I would do it. I would do a lot of crazy things to ensure that his return wouldn't happen, because it's 2 minutes of chaos or a very short life filled with trauma. 2 minutes of chaos.
I will tell you the great prophecy if you leave me the fleece.
I know it's not the full prophecy that Percy got, but he's eventually going to hear it later down the line. He has gotten the gist of the prophecy. That's like a very weak bargaining chip that Kronos has gotten here, which makes me think it's a way for him to stall till Luke arrives. Percy, my boy, don't get manipulated and used.
I trust you to decide. A half-blood of the eldest gods shall reach 16 against all odds and see the world in endless sleep. The hero's soul cursed.
Okay, I decided.
Here's the thing, why are they revealing the prophecy so early? Oh my god, that's crazy. And that's like literally, he just stopped listening to the prophecy at the last word. Also, what kind of a stupid bargaining chip was that, man? You just told him the prophecy and were like, okay, you know what? I know he's going to leave the fleece behind now. He should have just been like, leave the fleece here and I will tell you the real prophecy later on in your dreams. Blah, blah, blah. No one can overhear you or some logic like that. He just told him the entire prophecy. What? If someone goes, I trust you to decide that on your own, blah, blah, blah. I don't need your trust. Who are you, man? I don't even care about you. I want you to die. Why should I need your trust? Crazy nonsense.
It was you.
She lied.
Percy, why the goddamn hell were you not wearing the cap? You have the cap. Why didn't you wear it? I was literally yelling about the fact that you should be wearing this cap. It was like, oh, you know what? I have this amazing opportunity to be stealthy and steal the fleece. But I'm gonna do it in broad daylight. What are they gonna do? Stop me? Yes? If you were wearing the cap, Luke wouldn't have had any idea what was happening. The second you touch the fleece would also be under the cap's invisibility powers. So he would have had zero idea. He would have thought that someone already stole the fleece and left. Oh my god, kid, oh. Why did you drop the spear for your makeshift spear? Just use the spear that is actually solid and good. Oh my god. Okay, I'm just gonna watch because that was a dumb choice.
5 against 1, huh? My kind of odds.
Clarice doesn't know that Annabeth is there, so now it's going to be 2 against 5 and not 1 against 5. Ooh. Okay, let's talk about the fight sequences. Awesome fight. Annabeth definitely should have gone out there and helped Clarice instead of hiding behind the stacks. I don't know what she was doing. I was like, girl, just help her out. Like, Just help her out? Like, she's not your enemy, just help her out. What kind of crazy nonsense was that? But okay, she helped her out almost because of the fact that Chris saw her. So she kind of bettered the odds for Clarice. Awesome. Okay, crazy stuff. Anna bitch is kind of being weird right now and I don't really vibe with it. Percy and Luke's fight is so crazy considering the fact that Percy learned sword fighting from Luke. So it was just a solid mentor-mentee fight vibes that I got from that and I was like, chef's kiss. Also, Percy, don't worry. You've been stabbed. I get it. You also have the fleece. So just cover it up and you'll be fine. Not to worry at all. I'm not even worried about this kid right now. Crazy nonsense.
I needed that. Took a detour when I heard what these idiots were planning.
Percy went for the fleece.
You think Seatorp's gonna be able to get it on his own? Doesn't mean he has the fleece.
Girl, just give that point up at this point. Like, he won. Just leave it at that. Oh my god.
There's only room for one, and I know you won't stop for anything.
What about my prophecy? What you said about how
I was wrong, in a lot of ways. You trusted me with your prophecy, and I used it against you. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Clarice doesn't fly back home. Much better idea. I mean, I kind of like it. In the book, Percy gives the fleece to Clarice and they are away from the Princess Andromeda long before Luke even captures them. He's like, where's the fleece? Where's the fleece? And they're like, it's back home. Why do you think I would have it? Like, I'm just here to chill and enjoy the views or some nonsense like that. And so here it's Clarice flying back home on Blackjack, which is really cool. Kind of vibe with it, let's go. And the whole reason why Percy doesn't go with Clarice is like, last year I flew back on the airplane, Zeus let me live. He's not gonna let me live now. Not going to happen. I am going to die if I go back on the airplane. So you go alone, we will join you later. So fair. No, I absolutely love that.
Just get in!
Mom? How did you...
Get in!
The urgency is what I crave, okay? And the urgency is what we got with Sally. Because throughout the whole conversation with Clarice, I was like, you can have this conversation back home. Like, just leave. And so Percy's like, whose car is this? You called my mom, blah, blah, blah. And everyone's like, get in. And he's like, you know what, fair. Let me just get in first and then we will have this conversation. Urgency delivered.
Hey, so when Clarice puts the fleece back on the tree...
When two equally powerful forces collide, there's no telling what'll happen.
Ooh, he's worried because of the fact that if Thalia's back, that means they might have a fight. Ooh, I love that. Also, Sally clocking that Percy's not actively talking, so something's wrong. Outside of the fact that he's hiding his abdomen for some weird-ass reason. Ooh.
Why didn't you tell me that the fleece could bring Thalia back?
Baby boy, the way you're talking right now, it's almost like you're putting yourself at the same level as Kronos and he is not going to like it. Like, why do you think he's going to like it? He is going to actively punish you. He will be like, why did you need to know? Just go through with whatever I'm asking you to go through with. Why are you asking me questions and why are you like, oh, why didn't you tell me, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's obviously going to punish you. Oh my god, that's crazy.
I'm loyal.
Solid manipulation and punishment of that, but also at the same time, Luke, baby girl, why do you care? Just leave. Just go do your own thing. Like, I get it. Oh my god, I absolutely get it. The reason why you're fighting the fight, it is so important. But mortals have existed with people, with parents who don't give a damn about them and they've still thrived. Just live your life, man. Like, it's two really bad options that you're fighting for and against right now. Why do you want to allow yourself to get punished? You don't deserve it, my baby boy. Oh my god. Poseidon being there was weird because that doesn't happen in the book, but I'm also kind of hyped to see it that, you know what, he actively tried to help Tyson. He actively was there. Like, wait, hold on, is Poseidon there because Sally is there? Because that's going to be so dumb. Oh, like, oh, I came to see my queen, the queen among women. And blah, blah, blah. Like, did he come in here because he's like, finally, I've missed Sally so much. Also, I have the feeling that Paul Blofeld is going to come into the conversation. So, I might just like restake my claim or some nonsense like that. No, I don't think so. But also, it would be funny if he's there because of Sally. But I think he's there to be like, I'm proud of you, son. You're awesome. Remember why we are fighting the fight. Remember that I'm one of the best parents in the whole Olympian Council. I'm one of the better parents. You should thank me for it. Ha ha ha. Please don't join Luke's army. Ha ha ha. Fun. He's also going to be happy that he helped Tyson and that, yes, Polyphemus was technically a son of Poseidon. Like, he actively holds back Odysseus from getting home because he's pissed off with the fact that Odysseus blinded Polyphemus. But at the end of the day, Percy is also Poseidon's kid, so like a fight amongst brothers. When has that ever been something that's, a rarity within the Greek mythology? It's going to be like, so that's fine, don't worry about it. I'm glad that you're protecting Tyson though. Awesome possum. Crazy episode overall. I really liked it. I vibed with it. Ooh. The layers upon layers, man. Oh, I love it. My theory still stands though. I feel like Chiron is going to come to camp and fight Luke's demigod army with the party ponies. I'm here for it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I still feel like there's going to be a Percy Thalia fight and Percy is scared of that, but also I think it's been hyped up so much that there is a chance that that doesn't even happen. Kind of like a red herring almost of like, oh, Percy Thalia fight, Percy Thalia fight. I mean, it's not really a red herring because they didn't actively say anything, but in my head, I have hyped it up so much that there is a real possibility that it doesn't happen at all and Thalia is just going to fight alongside them. This is going to be crazy. I'm here for it. I'll see you in the book reread of I Go Down with the Ship. See you there. Until then, like, share, comment, subscribe, and all of that jazz. Tell me your favorite moments from this episode. Favorite theories. What do you think is going to happen in the finale? Let me know down in the comments. And for more bonus content, for early access to videos that I post online, head over to my Patreon. Support me there so that you can spend some money on me and I can keep creating amazing content for you all. Until then, bye bye. Toodaloo.